Yo, shout out to fucking the Blue Collar Losers, man. Like, they're
salute to them.
Great podcast, man. Check those guys out. They do deep dives on fucking numerous subjects, man. Awesome group of guys.
Also chemistry.
Seriously, so check those guys out. Also, yo, shout out to TML Sear.
Absolutely.
Yo, best in gaming right now. Yo, check him out. Follow that dude on all social media platforms.
Facts.
Your music?
Yeah, we can do that too. Yo, check out my music. Links in the description below. There you go. But yeah, so like as guys, you know, I'm like, it's interesting that we'll date down, but like women, they always want to date up. You know?
Right. I mean, shit, because for most of us, it's a lot of men just want really just one thing.
Yeah, I mean, most part. Yeah, we look at the physical and be like, yo, she's cute. I don't care that she's serving hot food,
Absolutely.
to the public for like, fucking $11 an hour.
And the pussy just got to be good.
That's it. And you can't talk a lot,
Absolutely. It don't take too much, man. But you just got to find somebody that I think matches your own energy. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you want to have kids with them.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's super big, man. It's super big because it's it's life changing, bro.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, and then you gotta want that. You gotta want that for yourself, and then like your mates gotta want that, and it's like to force it. So like if you fucking like meet somebody and y'all not on the same page, man, that's instant conflict, and then you become resentful. If they like, so boom, you get your girl pregnant, and I understand it takes two to tango, but it's like, yo, let me know your plan at least. And it's like, if I don't know, as a man, it's like, yo, you're guilty too. I get it. I'm conflicted because it's like, yo, you nut, and it's like,
you know what
it's so good. It's so good in there. It's so warm and creamy.
It's crazy.
Oatmeal cream pie.
Yo, it's so warm and creamy in there. It's like, yo, you want to just like stay in there, and then
because when
they ain't helping by looking at you in your face
and moaning, nigga.
Yo, dead ass, like the moans.
Yo, you get into these intimate relationships, man. You start getting intimate with one another. Anything goes after. During that, you start firing from the hip, man, and just saying anything and telling them how much you're gonna marry them, and
you shouldn't do that.
No, you shouldn't, man.
I mean, you're thinking with the wrong head.
You're not thinking with your right brain, I believe it is.
Right. That sounds good. I'll roll with that. I don't really know.
Yo,
just the logic in general. But the thing is just like, yo, you shouldn't. You gotta be upfront, man. Like, you gotta tell them, like, yo, listen, I don't want kids, and hopefully you respect my choice. I'm respecting your choice to want kids.
Transparency, man.
And it's like, just let me know this way. We don't create a bad situation where I'm resentful, and you're like all thinking, oh, this will save the relationship.
Absolutely.
Like, that shit is not gonna save the relationship having fucking kids, man.
Shit is the dumbest. That logic is the dumbest shit known to man, yo. I hate that shit. And I have no remorse, and I can't feel bad for any woman that has a kid thinking that, oh, this nigga's about to stay with me. You're a fucking idiot, bro.
I hear you. I agree.
Yeah, it ain't fair, especially if you care for people, man. It ain't fair to the kid, yo. You know what I'm saying? It just causes a whole lot of not hoopla, but it causes a whole lot of turmoil, you know what I'm saying, in the relationship. Or from even with you, the parent and the kid that's doing that, you know what I mean? Yeah.
So my thing is, other than like, so being pregnant, obviously that's serious. You know what I mean? You got literally a living being inside you. All right, I get it. If we take away that fact and you think about the long run, this is for like the girls that are saying, yo, if I have this kid, he'll stay with me. If we think about the long run, you basically got a life bid of taking care of somebody else. Now, usually, you turn 18, you out the crib, but like, that's still your kid. So you're not just going to disown them when they're like 25. No matter what, you got to take care of them, per se, if you're a good person. So you're going to sit here, have a kid. The dude still is like, yo, fuck this bitch, I'm out.
Yeah.
Now what?
Well, I mean, then you had this mentality where like they're like, fuck that nigga. I will raise my kid on my own.
Right. And then sadly, this happens a lot in the black community. So
Yo.
sadly, that shit goes down. You end up trying to be a good parent, possibly at first. It doesn't work out. That guy or girl, whatever you had, turns to the streets or just is a badass kid, and then the cycle continues.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, or the person, that is, I guess bearing the kid, could just be an overall good person, just got fucked, over by a fucked up person because they didn't know him too well and they too good of a person, you know what I'm saying, to even recognize that the nigga wasn't shit.
Yeah.
So, they're pro-life, so they want to bring somebody into the world, that I guess, I guess they want to raise another good person and bring him into the world, as opposed to, creating more fucking negative people and people that do, bad shit to other people.
I mean, it's nice to have like good intentions, but
I was just about to say that. It's like it sounds good.
Yeah, the reality, or
but
the reality.
They mean well, but at the end of the day, it comes down to, like, I've said this all the time, and people say this too. It's not just me, but men think with logic, women think with emotion. I mean, yeah, that's how they feel. Cool, but at the end of the day, the likelihood of that happening is just not very high.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a scientific thing, man. That's what makes, men, and women yin and yang. You know what I'm saying?
True.
On the part where the men, as far as on the part where you're supposed to think emotionally, the girl or the female is supposed to have your back in that department. And the logical part, is obviously the man is supposed to provide that. So, that's what makes teamwork the dream work.
Yeah. Like there's too much like societal nonsense right now where it's like they're trying to split people apart and like promote the single parent thing, and it's just like, yo, that shit is not fucking hot, man. It's like you need, like, we're social creatures, man. We need each other, like just like you touched on, Lemire. It's like, yo, you got fucking we need each other. We are each other's yin and yang. We complete the fucking circle. It's like and that's why I think it's good. On some degree, I think it's good that women do deal, or I would say like think on an emotional level, and not as logical as a man, So, it's like you are completing that puzzle,
right? Absolutely.
They pick up where we lack, and vice versa.
True. True.
But see, that's where you gotta not, and I say not everybody should be having kids, man.
Facts.
Some of y'all motherfuckers are crazy.
Yeah.
Torturing your kids and shit. Raping your kids.
Whoa.
Nah, people out here.
I know. Yeah.
I forgot where it was at. I think it was Texas. No, it was Florida. I think. This black girl and this white dude had they had kids. No, she had kids.
Yeah, and then the boyfriend killed them. Killed one of them.
Yeah,
and then the rest of them fucking starved in the apartment.
While they live somewhere else.
I saw that shit.
I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that shit is wild.
People like those type of people shouldn't be having kids, man.
Oh, for sure. And it makes me think about like my reasons for not having kids. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, I feel I wouldn't be like. I used to think like, yo, I'll be like a terrible parent, but now I'm seeing like shit like that, and I'm like, yo, like I wouldn't actually be that bad because but because they going on some other shit. They really on some shit where it's like, yo, I regret having kids and I don't want them anymore. So I'm literally like the logic behind that. Like, you really think you're gonna get away with that?
Yeah, hell no, man.
It's crazy.
Especially having all those kids. That shit is gonna, and that's the bad thing, with people that, certain people shouldn't have kids. That's the bad thing, that takes place when having children, because now these children gotta live up, grow up with that. You know what I'm saying? In the back of their head. It could be some life scarring shit, man, to the point where it drives them to insanity.
Yeah. And that's crazy. Like, how do you get to that point? Like, I mean, you know, not to put you on the spotlight, but I'm gonna put you on the spotlight.
Right.
And like for somebody that does have kids, I mean, you know, you got 2 kids. It's like, do you feel like sometimes like it gets to that point where you're like, yo, fuck this, like I don't want to deal with it anymore? Or do you just like, are you able to like just be like, you know what, I want the best for them. You're always looking at the positive outlook and try to reaffirm. I don't know if that's a right word, but just like kind of like reinstill in your own mind that like that you want the best from you. Try to do the best you can in order to like deal with any kind of situations where it is frustrating.
Right. Nah, for me, it's more so like empathizing is like a superpower of mine, man. So, you know, I'm able to tap into that. The 12 universal laws of the universe or whatever is the preservation of life. So I believe in, you know, having kids and whatnot. And, you know, they're here to kind of basically make your lineage live on or something.
I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad you brought up lineage because I really want to.
Word.
Oh yeah. Because you know, I don't have that ill will, that ill feeling of having kids to the point where I'm like, oh fuck this, because I understand, you know, that I had them and why I had them, and it's basically, you know, it's like it's your job, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I seen my father and my mother do it, you know, and I knew what I was getting into once I you know, started having sex and shit. So you know, and it was something that, you know, I did want, you know, and I even, you know, for the first couple of years, you know, I was like, yo, I'm gonna have a kid when I turn 27, and you know.
So you knew,
it or not, I was 27.
So you knew like from at a young age that like that's what I wanted.
Oh, absolutely. Because I always wanted to, you know, at first it was always like, yo, I want to see what my kid look like. You know what I'm saying?
Just for the sake of.
I just want to create young. I
want to create a character.
Yeah. Dead ass.
Fucking
but then
Skyrim.
it was like, then it was just like, you know, you start understanding more as you grow. You know what I'm saying? And then you start seeing examples of people that have kids and what the fuck they doing with their children. You see your own friends or your own people, your own peers in school and shit, and how their parents are treating them. And you know, you want to bring good into the world, man. If that's your agenda, you know what I'm saying?
But I mean, that's your reasoning for it. Like you don't want to bring good people into
good people into the people. You know, you want to feel love on a different level, man. And that love is different compared to any other relationship that you have. You know what I'm saying? That love can't leave. And then, if you're involved with your kids, man.
And then like also continue your bloodline.
Absolutely.
So before I go ham, I gotta say everything I say is not the total views of this show. Anybody that have kids, I respect you. I salute you. What I'm about to say is like, don't take this personally. This is all my views.
I love the disclaimer.
Absolutely.
If you are offended, come for me. But I'm not trying to be offensive. This is just genuinely how I feel.
Yo, he said run up.
I also want to state that everything that Lauren says, I agree with.
For me, having kids, for me, and people like me, is just not lucrative at all whatsoever. I was a teacher for like, 3 years? Granted, I know they're not mine, and the love for them isn't the same. And every kid is different. Don't get me wrong. You got badass kids, you got good ass kids. I don't give a fuck. That shit is not worth it to me. No bullshit. Like, for example, this is just me. Like, even me having a pet, like, I'm just always on the go. It makes zero sense. I've been broke my whole life until now. 30 years old, I'm doing my thing. From the age of, I'll say 18 to like 25, I was trying to figure out life. Got it figured out by 26. I know what I need to do. Why the fuck would I have a kid when I'm just starting to experience living? I'm finally out the nest. I got money now. I got a good job. Like, why I'm gonna bring a kid into the world just to not be able to do nothing? And then people are gonna be like, "Oh, it's not like that. You can still have a life." My nigga, stop. If I hit up somebody right now with a kid and be like, "Yo, let's go hit the bar," nah, my nigga, like, there's no babysitter. If I hit up my nigga right now that don't have a kid, yo, let's go hit the bar. All right, bet. On my way. It's just a totally different lifestyle. I'm not saying you can't not do anything anymore. It's just you are limited because obviously you gotta look after your kid. Why the fuck would I want to live like that? And like I said, this is no offense to anybody doing this shit. I respect niggas who have kids. But for me, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Damn.
I'm not dealing with that shit, son.
Yo,
I don't like having to say I can't do something. That shit is ass. Like, nah, bro. Hell no. And then like you gotta deal with so like granted, like having a kid is cool, like, but dealing with the whole just shit on myself, you gotta clean this, my nigga. I'm pissing and there's nothing you can do about it except clean it. You can't get mad at me. Like, nigga, I'm not cleaning up nobody's piss or shit but my own. Fuck that, son. Nah, bro. Hell no.
So you're saying like there's a lot of cons opposed to pros.
There are more cons than pros to having kids. And I know the whole lineage shit. And Lemire, I'm not coming at you. Everything you said, like, you're 1,000% correct. But I don't give a fuck about my lineage, bro. Like, once I die, like, it is what it is. Y'all niggas can have my bread. Like, I put my will into my niggas' names. Like, I don't give a fuck about that shit, bro.
I usually always listen to, objectively anyway, man. Because you got how you feel and you got, your perspective on it, and that's how you want to live. That shit, that is definitely your life. You got to live it how you, feel comfortable and how you see it, bro. Because if it's what makes you happy, live that shit. So you don't want to bring something into the world and be miserable, man. That should have dripped down to them. You know what I mean? As far as, how you feeling. And it's either could go that way or it could possibly go the opposite way. But if you feel strongly on you not wanting that, you shouldn't do it,
Yeah, and that's
I'm doubling down on I have a kid.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's healthy.
Say again?
I had one pregnancy scare in my life, bro. And when that shit happened, like, niggas be saying, oh, I'm pregnant. Oh, it's a fucking joy, gift to the world. My nigga, I was distraught. Total opposite feeling of what I should feel if I was finding out I was having a kid, my nigga. For a week, I wasn't eating. Like, I'm like, fuck, man. I was stressed. Clearly, I don't have a kid now.
Damn. I mean, because it's like, your level of like sincerity with it. It's like, you take it serious. It's like, because the thing is, I'm pretty sure, Lauren, if you did end up having a kid, it's like you would not abandon it.
Yeah, hell no.
See, exactly. So that's the part where it becomes like super scary because it's like, damn, now I got to change my entire lifestyle and I got to step up and be that guy. And I'm gonna say on a flip side, some women prey on that shit, and you get the trap. You get that trap where they're like, yo, I know you want this, and you're getting it, and then I know you're a good nigga in your heart, so like I'm gonna fucking have this baby to keep you around, and then if we do break up, hey, there's always child support. I'll have you some way, in my life. And it's like that shit creates, resentful people. And, and that's one of the things I fear, is because like, the worst thing I would think for me having a kid and then like not being in that kid's life in full. Yeah. You know what I mean? And giving that kid the shit that I didn't have where you had the nuclear family.
Right, absolutely.
So I think that's like definitely one of the things that kind of like makes me shy away from even wanting a kid because I see it in society so much where people are splitting up and it's like, yo, that shit is commonplace and people are accepting it more and more and more. And it's like, yo, you meet how many people in fucking high school, middle school, where none of their fucking parents were together. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And our fucking generation. Right. So even now, people break up before they even had the fucking kid. Like, girl's pregnant and they already split up. You know what I mean? Fucking 3 months in, fucking the pregnancy.
Yeah.
So that shit to me is like, yo, I don't know. And then another point is that like I've always felt because of all my now this sounds mad narcissistic. All right, I don't care. And arrogant. But the thing is, as a man, I feel like men, they need skills or some kind of credentials or whatever. That's like our equivalent to like a woman's beauty. You know what I mean? Like the the prettier a girl is, the hot, the more opportunity she has. Right. The more skills a nigga has, the more a woman wants that dude.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you're a necessity, or you're useful rather. Right. So as a guy, me personally, with multiple skills, and like I said, I know it sounds arrogant, I feel like, over time, I got to this place where I'm like, yo, the more and more skills I gain, the less worthy a woman is to carry my seed. You know what I mean?
It's a science, bro. That ain't even, I would believe that's nothing to refute, man. It's a science because, you got to have somebody, I think, that matches that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because if not, the kid, obviously it has a percentage of gaining that of the opposite parent.
Yup.
So
it's like you can't just come to the table with fucking good looks.
Nah.
You know what I mean? And it'd be like, yeah, we on the even playing field. And it's like, nah.
So what if it's something, okay. So what if it's something like that the opposite parent has something suppressed in them? You know what I'm saying?
What?
Like say if they do have, I guess, ambition and whatnot, but it's just something that wasn't pulled out, but the kid, it passes down to the kid, and the kid has the ability to pull it out. Do you think first of all, do you think that is something that can happen, or is it possible? Or do you think it's just like, all right, no, I am ambitious, so it's definitely coming from me?
I mean, I think ambition could come from anywhere, to be honest.
It don't necessarily even need to be from the parents, right?
Yeah, nah.
It's just,
I think it's just about your environment, and that, I mean, that goes back to episode 2, but yeah, I think that's just something that's like learned, where it's based off of like everything that you're introduced to, which is like do you push your kids being in sports or in different hobbies or clubs or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I think shit like that is where ambition comes from, because you're opening them up to more stuff that's out there, you know, opposed to keeping them sheltered and being like, nah, you just gonna sit in the living room all day and eat fish sticks. You know what I mean? It's like, you're not gonna grow that way. You know what I mean? You got to like read to them, you know what I mean, so that they can start to. It's very strange. Like, I see that kind of shit, like where, like, the way that we learn is, I find that fascinating. You know, I will say that's a part of me that's kind of like, opening up more and more, where I used to be like kind of like almost like a nihilist, where I'm like, yo, hold on, human race fucking dies. Like it's
I'm still that way.
Yeah, I hear you, but it's like something's switching off in me though. Maybe it's because I'm getting older, but it's like where it's like I find it more fascinating. I still don't want kids for myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's like but yeah, I find it very intriguing, where it's like, the way that we learn as babies, and like, you're going from nothing, you know what I mean? And not understanding a goddamn thing. Everything is just noises. It's almost like your fucking cat just like meowing at you, and you're like, what do you want? You know what I mean?
Right,
and like over time, like this kid is going from to like, Dad, can I have some cereal?
Yo, dead ass.
Like, that shit is like mind blowing to me, the evolution.
That's very interesting. And I think that's one of the benefits of being a parent, man, is you're able to, teach those type of skills, to your kids. Yeah, it's kind of shallow as far as skill set goes, but it is, you're encouraging them and you're teaching them to walk. You're teaching them to, learn how to, I guess, clean themselves, sometimes even teaching them how to think. But the thing is, though, we also got to understand on the flip side is, life is a teacher all in itself. So you're maybe that stepping stone for them to learn a particular thing, and then it has to go beyond you. So it's, I look at that as a benefit, because you're also able to see that blossom in the kid. You know what I mean? You're able to see when your kid grows that you took part in that of which they're becoming.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that was a good one.
That is fire. I'm just like,
yo, I love it, Lauren. He's like, yeah, but fuck that shit.
That, like, long story short, that ass. Fuck that shit. That shit is fire, but I'm good, man.
Nah, yo, and that's the thing, man. You know yourself, and nobody knows you more than you know yourself, man. I think you still are, to me, you know, you're still providing a good service to the people that you love. You know, I would say. Yeah. So you know that's not going to waste.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you could still contribute to society in different ways. I mean, not necessarily everybody has to have kids. I mean,
absolutely.
Fuck that shit.
You don't want to see yourself. You don't want to see yourself in a little baby Lauren.
Nah, my kid would be bad as hell, bro.
One of my fears was like, you know, also that like if I ever did have a child, and you know, best case scenario, me and the, you know, the woman that had my child is, you know, we were still together. My thing I'd never want to do was like spoil my kid, like where they become rotten. You know what I mean? So like, do you feel like in this time frame that like, you know, that you with your kids, like, they're like what, 2 years apart? No, a year apart. No, 2 years apart.
2, yeah,
about 2 years.
4, yeah, he won.
All right, so that's perfect. So like now you're seeing like the progression of like, you know, everything that you've done. You know what I mean? Like, do you feel like in certain aspects, like they're your oldest getting spoiled or something like that, or not? He's good.
They're, you know, I would say instead of spoiled, they're more so loved. Cause, you know, I usually like to have them think for themselves because of, you know, the fact that there's a lack of critical thinking. So if there's something that's, you know, simplistic for them to, you know, figure out or something like that, I leave them so that they could guess for themselves.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because in certain situations, you got to, you know, also apply it to life where you're in a particular situation and, you know, you're going to have to figure your way out of it. You know, granted, we got internet and shit now, so you're able to Google, you know, like a motherfucker, YouTube or whatever. But, you know, you want them to be able, just in case this shit go down, they have to be able to think for themselves. Yeah. You know, you don't want them just going and thinking like everybody else and, you know, being in particular situations where they're not able to, you know, think without somebody getting in their ear, you know, or, you know, seeking help all the time. So, you know, we try to, we give them the love, and sometimes, we spoil them, you know, especially the grandparents and shit. You know,
like give them a lot of gifts.
Yeah.
But that's their job, though, I feel, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You know, their kids are, you know, for the most part, the grandparents' kids are grown, so they're like, you know, mostly all the kids are out the nest now, so they still have that yearning for being a parent. Yeah. You know what I mean? Even though they're not, you know, directly the parent of the grandkids, but you know, they you know, obviously they still see their kids as their kids, so they're like, all right, my kid had a kid, right? So I'm gonna treat them better than, you know, their kids treat them, you know. So
yeah, I'll show them.
Word.
I'll show them who's the fucking best gift giver.
All right.
That nigga lying.
Oh shit! How about you, Lauren? You got anything like where you feel like, you know, you're spoiled? You know, are your kids spoiled basically? No, I mean, nah. If you were to have kids though, like, is that one of your fears that you would spoil them or no?
Nah, I would fear that I wouldn't. I'm not cold, but I'm very big on figure it out. So for example, not gonna, even though like I'm looking at riches in my future, I'm not gonna be like, hey kid, here's a Lotus, here's a Ferrari. Right. Like, nah, bro, you gonna go do a 9 to 5 just like I did. Like, fuck that shit. I'm not gonna have them out here struggling, but I'm gonna teach them the essence of, you gotta work for what you want. But I feel like I would do that too drastically, in my opinion.
For how long though?
Until
like 18.
Until, I mean, yeah, like I'm not gonna do it when they're like 8 and be like, yo, get to fucking work. Like, nah. But like once they're like 15, 16, I'm gonna be like, listen, you gotta learn how to make it in this world. If I were to die right now and you had to get up off your ass, like, you gotta figure it out, bro. So
plain and simple.
That's it. So like the age of like 15 and on, once I feel like they got it, maybe I'll ease back and start showing more love. But bro, especially being a black man in this world, you gotta figure that shit out, bro.
What about being a Puerto Rican man in this world?
Speak on that. I can't speak on that shit. I don't know about
Dominicans. I mean, Dominican.
Shaquille O'Neal did come up with a statement. He came out with a statement a couple of days ago where he stated, you know, he said to his kids, he's like, y'all not rich, I'm rich. Basically saying like, yo, y'all got to go out there and get it. You know, the thing is though, you're not completely disconnected from your child. So like, you obviously you want your kid to go out there and make it. You know, the bad thing is, the black community, we kind of have this thing where we like, all right, so you got to get out by 18 and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? And, which me personally, I think it isn't healthy. You know what I'm saying?
You got like a deadline to get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Scrambling to get pack up all your shit. You're like, damn, man, tomorrow I'm turning 18. They're going to kick me out.
Nigga, you evicted, nigga.
Yeah. But whereas like in Spanish cultures, I believe, like they're the opposite, where they're like, yo, you're supposed to take care of your father and mother because they're getting up there in age and then, they're not able to work, so you gotta hold that down.
Right.
But is that wrong though?
What, for kicking? What?
Not for like, being obligated to take care of your parents because they took care of you.
I don't think anything. For the most part, I don't think anything could be obligated. Life is individualistic one, man. So you have the choice to do so. And I don't think anybody should be faulted for their choices. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, I think it's a good gesture to do so. And I would do that for my parents. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think you should be obligated to do anything. It's your own life, man. You got to make sure that you're happy. And when you go out, while you laying on the ground, leaving this world, you got to be like, yo, I lived a happy life and smile and die. So.
Lauren, you believe in that?
It's that nigga, huh? It's like, nah, I totally agree. It's your choice, man. Like me personally, I don't know, like, cause y'all know the situation with my mom. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna move back into the crib and take care of her, but I'll do what I can. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you can't get away from yourself,
hard.
man.
That's hard. Yeah,
but I mean, like, that's the thing, though. Do you feel like that's? I mean, I know you already answered it, but it's like sometimes you gotta rethink. Like, is that going with the whole mentality of like having a family value where you are almost expected to take care of your mom and father,
right?
Like you almost get guilt tripped and like, so a prime example, like living the life that you're living, like where you travel all the time and like you don't have any pets, you are in a relationship, an intimate relationship, for a couple years, but you don't really have any obligations to anybody outside of yourself, So to have a family put that pressure on you where you're like, yo, either your mom's sick or your father's sick or your grandmother's sick or something like that, or just can't fucking take care of herself. So like if there was nobody else, it's like, yeah, it's the right thing to do, but then your life is like compromised because you have to take care of them for X amount of time until either they can get somebody else to take care of them or that's your life. That might just be your life until they pass. You know what I mean? Is that fair? Is my question.
I don't think it is, honestly, because you gotta, I don't know, this sounds so selfish, but you gotta live. Like Mir was saying, like, if I died right now and I was like taking care of my mom for like 10 plus years, I'll be fucking tight.
Yeah.
Word. Like, you got, I don't know, like, it sounds selfish, but you gotta live, yo.
And I think it just sounds selfish to people that can't listen to things objectively, man.
Right.
You gotta, it's polarity in the world. So you know, it's some shit you gotta kind of accept. But I mean, that's sort of like, it is what it is. It's sort of like the cons with having, children to watch after is, the younger they are, the more, you lessen up your me time. You know what I'm saying? You got to kind of create that me time, like while they're, engaged in something like sleep for the most part, or away, like at another family member's house. They're doing something else where they're occupied, where they're kind of not in your space.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to create that me time, because that shit is needed also for your own sanity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got, even if you're in a relationship, this with somebody, you need your me time to do what you got to do, because before you met them, you had that. Right. And I think it's always good to revisit that.
So you find it like on that same note, do you find it difficult to balance the relationship with your fiance, and then and keep and maintain like entertain the kids also, and like keep them educated and all that? Like, is that tough balance?
It is tough because me personally, I do drop the ball a lot, and sometimes you feel like you don't have enough time to even just gather your own thoughts because your mindset is always on go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Especially with all the shit that's taking place in the world today. So you think about the world and how it's going to shit right now, and then you're thinking about your relationship and how you got to possibly maintain that because you don't, it may be going good or it may not be going good, and then you got to make sure your kids are, being treated right, and you're scared for your kids even being out in the world, man, because it's the world is fucking crazy. But you gotta, even sometimes you might have to even just seek outside, outside perspective. Go talk to somebody, and see if they can provide you with some. Sometimes you gotta fast. You know what I mean, from certain shit that you do, like social media and whatnot, and go exercise when you can, and then you just gotta. I think it's very paramount that a person should take at least 30 minutes to themselves, man. A breather, because it's definitely needed. You got to circle yourself sometimes, and stay grounded and get back grounded and whatnot.
Do you do that though? Do you take time out for yourself in order to like keep your sanity?
I think I do it at the inappropriate times.
Like why somebody's talking to you?
Oh no, like say like because I like video games and shit. So. But I see, when they doing something, I try to sneak off and go do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But then, when everybody come together and shit, I'm on it, and then they playing and shit. That's something that I have to work on. That's just the ins and outs of it, The only thing is like, when you want to have your me time alone, you got to wait till everybody sleep, and then you're tired yourself.
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't you saying you fucking beat after working a long day, and then you gotta like take care of the kids,
and then you try to that shit is a lot, man. And men and women, they don't get enough, I guess, credit for that. You know what I'm saying? I just seen this one thing where this happened a couple days ago, or a week or two ago, where this girl, she was just so depressed. She had like 2 kids or some shit. I forgot where it took place, but she had 2 kids, and she was just basically on Facebook letting people know, like, I'm getting tired, and I'm depressed and whatnot, and it sucks when you're handling this by yourself. You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, she ended up taking her life.
Oh,
yeah, man. Because sometimes certain situations is overwhelming to people.
But damn,
yeah, you don't have. Sometimes you just don't have the strength, man.
So my thing is like, yo, where's the father?
And she stated in one of the posts that she made, like, yo, don't give them kids, and that's the fucking. You like, don't give them kids to.
Meanwhile, you about to off yourself. Yo, you ain't no better. You worse. Unless he's like an abuser or something like that. I get it. Don't give the kids to him if he's like, prone to fucking beating. Like, he can't keep his hands off people. And especially a child, man. Like, you can go fucking die for that shit. But like, if you're plotting, I mean. Because the thing is, like, you gotta look at the warning signs, man. Like, that shit is not like on impulse. That shit is like a steady progression. You got the warning signs. She's posting on Facebook. She's talking about like, yo, this shit is difficult. Yo, I wish I had help. And it's like,
it's a slippery slope, man.
Yeah, man.
I believe personally. You know what I'm saying? You get into situations not knowing the outcome. You know.
If you are a parent, like you got kids, man, you have no right to feel suicidal anymore because it's not about you anymore. You chose to give birth to somebody. You have no rights to say, I want to kill myself. You can't. You're literally abandoning a mission. That's some coward shit.
True, but the thing is though too, you got a lot of factors in like the whole decision making with it when it comes to having a kid though, because a lot of people they're religious and they don't want to have that I guess that stigma attached to them where they are committing a sin if they do abort the kid, and it's like they feel like they have no choice but to go through with the pregnancy and have the child, and it's like now they're conflicted because they're like, damn, I wish I could have got that abortion, and then I could have been living my life the way I want, but instead, because of my religious background or religious obligation, I can't get rid of but then again, there's adoption. There's always adoption.
You see how you just sat and you said everything you just said.
But yeah, but the thing is, Lauren, I'm a man. I'm thinking logically. We already stated that.
Not that hard to.
That's true.
It's literally not hard to think like that, bro.
Yeah, for you.
Yeah, right.
Yo, for real. That's why I lack empathy with people and niggas who do dumb shit and make dumb decisions. It's not hard to sit down, think of every possible outcome, and then move accordingly. Like, it's really not fucking hard.
Sometimes it's that tug of war between the heart and the mind, man.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, man, you can't, even with adoption. See, and that's the thing. I'm defending the people who aren't. And I found I sound mad contradictory with my my stance on it, But the thing is, hey, just like you guys, man, I like to look at things from all sides, man. I believe in duality, So it's like you gotta see it from their perspective, and it's like to have a life growing inside of you. I have no idea what that's like as a man. It probably really fucks with you. Like where in the beginning you're thinking like, yo, all right, as soon as this kid is baked out of the oven, I'm getting rid of him.
Yeah.
But you're going through 9 months of like providing for this child already. You know what I mean? So you're forced to like care, even if you don't want to. So. And you're building this bond. You have this emotional tie, like with this being inside of you, and it's like that energy is going back and forth between you and this kid, like on a chemical level. So the thoughts that are being developed and like the emotions that are being created are like recycling between the two of you. That's got to be a real big mind fuck, So by the end of the term, like when you get to like 9 months and you ready to give birth, your whole perspective is changed. You're like, yo, I fucking love this thing and I can't give it up. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's different, And as a man, we'll never understand that. We'll have our own bond, after the kid is, developed, and or even during, like if you're with, the mother, hopefully. You're caring for it as well, but from the outside, you don't get that chemical or genetic bond that a mother has with that child. It's totally different.
Yeah.
So it's like, in that aspect, I empathize, and I try to be like, I first and foremost, I will never know. Number two, it's like I can't. For me to just say, yo, it's easy to give up a child. It's like I don't know that. I don't believe it is easy, but for the greater good, should you?
Right. But that's even a slippery slope in itself with adoption, man, because a lot of the times they get with these families, man, and these families where the kids are molesting them and shit. It's a different ballgame. And then sometimes they could possibly get put with a family that actually loves them and take care of them.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's a gamble. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely is.
It's like, yo, and then if going back to weighing the options, it's like, yo, if you do decide to go with adoption, it's like, yo, I'm throwing my baby to the wolves potentially.
Right. I'm rolling the dice.
Literally.
Or even like they get, caught up in the system that they can't find a home for the kid.
They fucked up. Wondering why doesn't my mom or dad love me and they gave me up. It's just like all of this can be avoided with
that shit is wild. But I mean, it's a pro and a con to it because it's like, I look at it as like, you obviously got to make sure you choose the right mate, man. You got to, like you said before, last episode, it's an application that you got to,
man.
Your significant other has to fill out, man, before you actually engage in these things, man, these life-changing things. That's one of the most important things in the world, man, is choosing your mate. You know what I'm saying? So you got to make sure you get into it with somebody that, you kind of share the same views as far as raising your kid to an extent.
Yeah, major.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't saying everything has to be 100% on point, but you also got to make sure that I believe you back up the other parent to an extent. And if you do have a disagreement, you should do it kind of away from the kid, depending on what it is, though.
Yeah, you got to be a team.
Yeah, you got to be a team.
Like, man. up in the face of the of the child. Yeah, it just makes sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Because the thing is like they develop, sides. They gonna be like, okay, which parent can I get over on?
Absolutely.
And that bleeds into the future, where it's like, let's say hypothetically, you got your daughter, starts dressing more provocative, know, and I know every parent is like, no, I don't even want to think about that.
Absolutely.
But then you'll have, you got the mother saying like, oh, that's just the trend, right. And being okay with it. And then you're the father, you're like, nah, man, my girl, my fucking baby girl, all right, it will always be baby girl in my eyes, will not fucking show her ass.
Absolutely.
You're gonna be fucking respectable, dressed, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, fuck that shit. Your friends could do that shit, but you're not doing that shit.
Yeah, man.
But then what does that do? That causes rebellion and yada yada yada, all this shit like that. Unless you have a good bond with your daughter and both parents are on the same page and saying like, listen, you're not doing that. You're better than that.
Absolutely.
All right. You're not a fucking piece of meat out here. People will love you for your brain. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Not your body.
Right.
All right.
Yeah. That pulls so much more out, man, as far as, cause we men. So obviously we know what we looking at when we look at women or whatever, you know what I'm saying? We know what we looking for and shit. I mean, but then the con to that though is getting with somebody that ain't on the same page as you, man. That shit is a headache. That shit is a headache.
Only imagine.
Yeah, that's something you want to avoid, man. So you definitely gotta
pick your mate right,
and vet your your relationships and whatnot. Ask 100 questions, nigga.
Word. Is there
moral of the story? Moral of the story: use condoms.
You think that's the end all be all?
And look at these poke a hole through it.
I ain't used condoms since Trap or Die came out.
Damn.
I don't know. God got your back, Lauren.
Yeah, I mean, God looking out for you, yo. That's all you got to believe in.
That's your condom right there, nigga.
Damn, we getting canceled.
Yo, spray that pancake mix in there.
Yeah.
Use your fucking hot dog and stir it, nigga.
Damn.
No bullshit though, fellas. Yeah. Watch who you dumping in, because a lot of these women ain't shit, bro.
Yo, facts.
Real shit.
Yo, trust is a huge factor, man. I mean, even if you do see, and this is the thing, it sounds very contradictory on my end, or hypocritical, because it's like, I'm gonna say the same thing, bro. Watch who you dumping in. Even though I'm dumping, but it's like, it's like,
even though I'm dumping.
The thing is though, it's about trust, man. And it's like, again, you're rolling the dice, you roll the dice with everything in life. You know what I mean? You're taking a chance, but you got to know how to read people,
Seriously.
And even when you do know how to read people, that shit is still not guaranteed.
Accurate, right? 100%.
So I'll say that. I wanted to ask also, is there anything that your parents have done, like raising you guys, that you're like, I'm definitely not doing that shit? Like with my kids. I know, Lauren, you don't have kids. I don't have kids either, but I'm saying potentially if you were to have kids, like, is there something that you're like, I definitely wouldn't do that? Like, let's say introducing them to religion, or not, or forcing them into religion, or bringing family closer together, or not bringing family closer together. Like, it's family not a factor. I'll give you any of those hypotheticals.
Let's say I would let my kid experiment with different sports. Like, my mom didn't let me play football, and I was like dead nice. Like, there's this coach. This was back when I was like, what? I'll say from the age of like 8 to 12, there was this coach that would beg my mom, please let this dude play football, because I would play at recess and just bust niggas' ass. And one of the kids told the coach that on the team, he was like, there's this kid I go to school with, he's really good. Word of mouth, bro. And my mom just never let me play football. I could have been dead nice. But hindsight 2020, whatever. So I would let my kids experiment with like different sports and shit for sure.
Mm-hmm. About you, Lemire?
They, for me, they were definitely good because they always, provided that love and whatnot, and just even the discipline. And then I always go back to say, they basically, try to raise us to an extent on how they were raised, because it was some form of order in that. You know what I mean?
So you try to pass that down.
Me, I'm kind of I do to an extent. I take what I can and spit the bones out. So I, eat the meat, spit the bones out. Okay. On what I feel, I guess is conducive with my kids. Conducive with how I'm teaching my kids or whatnot. But I think they definitely did the best, and I appreciate them because they through thick and thin they stuck together. On raising their kids, even if they had differences and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? They learn how to get through it. You know what I'm saying? And
so not breaking up.
Oh, not breaking up and not, letting it, be something where it was detrimental to their own relationship.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So, I definitely, took what I can take from their relationship. You know what I'm saying? Especially with their relationship raising us.
Yeah, that's good. And then love also, like that's a huge thing that you also want to and keep, instill like massive amount of love, like let them know that like family is.
Oh, absolutely. Because we are, we're very close, even with the stuff that we have going on outside of the family, from, things going on in life and whatnot. We still maintain our love for each other and our relationship with one another. And then even then, I disciplining wise is kind of, different for me though. I'm like, I like,
that was something I was gonna follow up with. Like, is discipline tough for you?
Discipline is very tough. I got, and my father was, he did both things. So he'll talk to me a lot, you know what I'm saying? And then, you abuse it, you got to go to something else. You know what I'm saying? So you got to go to, getting your ass whooped. In
order to get the point across, or not the point across, so the lesson can be learned not to do.
Right. So, you got to resort to that.
So is that something that are you taking that out of the equation, or you keeping that like for your own parenting?
I don't utilize hitting that much.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? If I did, it was more so when they was younger. To me personally, and I could be wrong, but to me personally, I just felt like I'm just showing them like
anger.
Yeah, and I want them to understand why they're not doing it.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Not like, I'm about to whoop your ass. Nah, man. I want them to understand what they're doing, so I got to explain it to them.
Like this ain't no 1960 fucking
Joe Clark. I want, I need them to understand, what they were doing and how, it affects them in a negative way, possibly. So, I gotta, you gotta actually, you gotta talk to them about it, and then, if it requires you to take something away or to have them do something, and I guess it all goes with your own preference. You know what I mean? So
you explain stuff to them, like
because they got to understand it. Right? You know what I'm saying? It's about understanding. It's not about like, all right, I'm gonna do this and I don't know why I'm doing it, but if I do it again, I'm gonna get my ass whooped. I don't know why I'm doing it, but I like to do it, and I don't know why it could affect me negatively, but I'm gonna do it, and it just is what it is. I think that you definitely gotta explain it to them, because if not, they don't know.
You think timeout works? Like, stand in that corner for like X amount of time and until I tell you to come out.
You gotta strategize with it. Stand in that corner and until you're able to come up with why you shouldn't have done something.
And don't turn around and look at me.
Stand
crying.
Kneel on that rice.
Oh, yo, that's rough. You do that shit?
Nah.
Oh, I was about to say. I'm like, yo, I saw that shit in a movie. I was like, damn.
Yeah, hell no.
I said, I never thought of that.
This ain't no Korean internment camp.
Shit, I feel like as a parent, I put barbed wire down. Like, that barbed wire.
But nah,
stop crying.
You set them in timeout, man, and you have them, you explain what you can explain to them, and you have them come up with a reason as to why they shouldn't have did it.
That's good. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's all because you got to think, a person never had a kid before, so you learning too, you know. And even if you have a kid, the personalities are different. You know, so you're learning how to, I guess, interact with this kid, whether it be through, disciplining them or teaching them, or even just learning how to love them, because they got to teach you how to love them to an extent. So, bada bing, bada fucking boom.
Do you think that you need to be a certain age in order to have children in America?
I don't think you should. Obviously, you shouldn't be like a fucking teenager doing that shit.
Right. I agree.
There's some 20-year-olds that are wiser than 40-year-olds. So I don't think age is like a factor. It's more the maturity. Like, are you mature enough?
So you think they should take an IQ test before? Because it's like with cigarettes and then beer, you got to be a certain age. I know people still do it outside of that age range, but it's like still, should there be something in place where it's like, either since you brought that up, I'll say an IQ test or not brought it up but alluded to it. So like should there be like an aptitude test rather, where it's like, nigga, you ain't smart enough to have kids.
For real.
Or mentally stable enough.
Right.
Yeah, I think so.
So like emotionally and intelligent or intellectual aptitude test.
Right. Yeah, I think you need that stability, man. I think you need to be able to, prove that you can, because, you get into these situations, man, and the pressure is on and you don't know how to fucking handle it. So now you going around, you're going to kill your kid, you're going to kill yourself. I definitely think that should kind of take place.
So let me ask you this then. What if you fail it, nigga, and you want to have kids? You're like, damn, yo, I can't,
And you go behind their back and just start fucking anyway.
You get arrested. They arrest you. They put you. It's a felony.
I think it's tough, man, to go off that, because you if you're not able to. But then again, it's like, who's setting the standards?
The government.
But see, even that
with everything, we heading that way.
Yeah, right. So even now, like, they telling you can't see. That's where it's a slippery slope. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm on the fence of that.
They're doing these vaccines. They're gonna be like, nigga, you can't have X amount of kids.
Yo, they might do that shit.
Yeah, it's coming.
Shit, they might even be putting in the fucking the vacuum. They might be putting some shit in there where you can't have kids.
Yeah, I'm all for it. Yo, make everybody sterile, so I could drive my tank down the fucking highway without any fucking other cars. Oh man, Lauren, what do you think, man?
Yeah, like I was saying, man, I feel like, I mean, not like an IQ test, but some form of test to be like, yo, you're all right, you can have a kid, or you're dumb as hell, you're not having a kid anytime soon, type shit. Because it's just like a lot of dumbass niggas is bringing kids into the world, bro, and like the cycle will continue, because your kid is seeing how you act and what you're doing. They got your genes running through them, and it's just, nah, man, we need a test.
So do you think people that have kids, like, say if you're walking up to somebody and you want to get into a relationship with somebody, you want to ask them out and whatnot, so to show that they have kids, they should just put a ponytail in their hair? Do you think they should do that?
Yo, some kind of symbol.
Yo, like some type of word, that'd be wild.
Like Bloods and Crips. Wear your flag if you want kids.
Or a braid on their coochie hair. What do you think?
I'd be like, oh shit.
Gotta
go down.
Like, I'll be back.
Oh shit. Sorry. Nah, that would be
Lauren
wild.
tired, y'all.
Damn. Yo, come to bed, Lauren.
Yeah, come to bed, nigga.
Bad, nigga.
Come to bed. Oh shit.
That
Give me some pizza, nigga. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, parenting is a lifetime thing. That's either good or bad.
Yo, seriously. Yeah, I think that's something that people need to fucking understand is that children are not fucking accessories that you just dress up or have attached to your fucking hip. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Like on a keychain. You know what I mean? Like, yo, that's a lifetime responsibility.
Absolutely.
And one of the main reasons why I don't have any, because I don't like that responsibility.
Right. I mean, shit. You gotta be able to, stay grounded as much as possible, man. Don't lose yourself in the process. And you grow with your kids as as your kids grow, you grow with your kids also.
How you feel about like getting your boy circumcised. Like how you feel about that, Lauren? If you had a son, like would you do that?
Would you leave his Assassin's Creed hood on?
There's like pros and cons to not doing that shit.
Right.
I think
list them.
It's more like hygiene when you cut that foreskin or some shit like that.
Yeah, you gotta clean out your turtleneck.
Yeah. So to make his life easy, I would do it.
But the thing is, I believe you're less sensitive. Like when you are jerking off or having
That's
sex,
like
because you got that foreskin protecting the sensitive head.
Word.
You know? So
it'll be out.
So you would do it with no problem?
Yeah, I'd do that shit.
How you feel about that?
Yo, I'd be like, right when he in the womb, I'd be like, nigga, you want head cheese?
You would ask him.
Yeah. But nah, that's a tough one, man.
The only it's a society thing, man.
Right. The only thing is because I'm like, I don't know how it is to
not
have your fucking
to have it
hoodie on.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't know how to do. I mean, obviously, like I said, you learn with your kids. You know what I'm saying? You got to teach them how to take care of themselves. Even if you don't know, I guess. But it's something that you learn as well. So I mean, I would say that you should let your kid have the choice.
Damn. So like so you gonna wait?
I heard it's painful too. Like if you wait.
Yeah, that's what I was like, damn about.
Yeah, because I'm saying, man,
fuck. Because you like going so long. Especially when you do decide to start jerking off, you like, damn, I'm used to this.
Right. And then girls is like, ew, what's that?
Yo, seriously. Right. Like I never seen it like this before.
What's this, corned beef hash?
And that's a red flag.
Right.
I'm like, oh, you seen multiple dicks already? Like, were you telling me that you never seen a turtleneck before?
Word. I mean, shit.
I got two more. So like, music, like do you feel like, I mean, we all love music, man, and I know like it's like different eras of music definitely hold a warm place in our hearts. So like as a I'm gonna do you, Lemire. So like, for the type of music that you listen to, are you gonna push that kind of music on your children, or are you just like playing it around the house and kind of like just letting them organically like kind of soak into that?
I ain't gonna lie, I do both, and I think I kind of feel like I'm in a sense I might be doing a disservice to them because I kind of I'll be like, yo, I don't want to hear, don't play that in front of them. But
the other
they talking, because to me,
new music.
Yeah, it's like, to me, it has no substance, but then I'm like, I'm taking away from them. You know what I'm saying? Their experience with that and them evolving, because that's their time. You know what I'm saying? The time that obviously the music I listen to is even before my time, but the time that I'm trying to bring them up in, that time is no more. You know what I mean? So I should, to an extent, if it's explicitives, I guess it's called, that's the word.
Yeah. It's like cursing.
Yeah, if there's too much of that in there, then I don't let them listen to that shit. I don't, if it's something where it's like meaningless, I guess, and it's derogative or whatnot, I let them avoid that. Or I try to avoid that with them. I usually play what I play around the house and let them listen to it organically. And they, they're usually attracted to it because that's what they hear.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? And,
But there's a lot of substance in like, music from the 60s and 70s,
Oh, absolutely, right.
I mean, one of my favorite eras, is like, fucking 90s, man.
Right.
And then like early 2000s. But
I mean, I think, and also, that around that time it was like live instrumentation. You know what I'm saying? And that
man.
speaks to even just the soul itself. You know what I mean?
Because that's another thing, not to get like, sidetracked, but like with the music of the 60s and 70s and even 80s, man, it's like you had to learn how to play the instrument. You know what I mean? Like, you really had to like fucking hone in on that. And then like everything that was recorded was from a live instrument. It wasn't no digital shit that we got now where it's like, oh, you could just throw shit in a fucking, DAW and be like, okay, you're done with it,
Absolutely.
With patterns. You know what I'm saying? It's like you don't really need to know music theory. You know what I mean? And that's another thing, sidestep off of that is like you had to know the music. You spent time with it. opposed to now where it's like, I'll be more clear where it's like, back then albums were really prevalent. People would put like 10, 12 tracks on a record, know what I mean? Vinyl, opposed to now everybody's just dropping singles. You know what I mean? That's the movement now. It's like, you get more traffic on your, page or whatever based off of that one single. Nobody's like taking the time out to go flush through a whole album. Yeah. Or I mean, there's some people still who are like, like myself, I'll listen to a whole fucking album and then delete everything that I don't like.
I was just gonna say, even like you were saying back in the day, man, they had to, I think they're producers or just the person that wrote the song.
Yeah, songwriters.
You gotta remember that shit. Like with instruments, when they didn't even have shit to save it on, you gotta remember.
Like notation. You had to know what note that, is, you had to know music theory. You had to write music. Right. And that's the thing. Now you could just save everything in a digital fucking workstation. And then you're just like, all right, it's there. It's saved digitally. I don't have to remember shit. You don't even have to know music. You could just be like, okay, that sounds good. That's it.
Right.
Simple as that. So, but my point with that is like, the time is different, where it's like you would spend a lot of time making those records, you know what I mean? And like being in a band, having that camaraderie, that changes the music, you feel it in the music when it's being played, especially when they do live shows. It's like you feel the difference. So when, going back to like, introducing that to your children or even not forcing them, pushing it on them. It's like, I don't think that's a bad thing as long as like, this is just my opinion, obviously. But it's like, as long as they have that variety where they're listening to multiple things,
right?
They can, they'll know like, okay, that old shit was fucking dope because of XYZ reason, because it gave me a different feeling that the music today doesn't give me.
Absolutely.
And that's why you fell in love with it, I'm sure, because it gives you a different feeling than, for whatever reason, whether it just feels like it's real and not, computerized, you know what I mean? Or you like, or even the history behind it. Like, you look into the band's history and the interviews and all that shit like that, shit like that.
Absolutely.
So there's a lot of good reasons, I think, to like, have them around that kind of music.
And then everything, has a base, man. Everything comes from something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, to see where your modern day music is coming from. Like, oh, they got this beat from that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they got this, this.
Know your history.
Right. So, I think it's always good to learn.
Because, like, Lauren, I was going to say, how many times have we, like, fucking come across shit, and, like, listening to rap music nowadays, and you're like, oh, shit, they sampled this?
Yeah, word, the sample game, man. I found that shit like very interesting, honestly, and seeing like, because obviously everybody's ear is different. Mm-hmm. So when somebody hears like, let's say Elton John, for example, hear that, one person will flip it and can make it like a trap beat. Another one can do some like lo-fi like, bro, it's just, I love people that sample shit, man. That's like I would say musically, that's probably like my favorite part of it, hearing like sampling.
I hear you. I agree.
I gotta go, so
I'm like, all right, bet. I was right there. So I'm gonna end with this, which is like really fucked up. But so Lauren, I'm gonna start with you. If you were to have kids,
Lauren said he got to beat off at 1:30.
Yeah, he got schedule.
On the button.
So like, he got a dump on a schedule. So like, I was gonna say, oh man, we getting canceled for this. Here we go. So, if you were to have kids, like, would you be upset if they were gay?
Upset? Nah. Like, how
would you go about that, Lauren?
So, let's say I had a son.
Yeah,
I had a son, and he was like, yo, I'm gay. I'll be like, all right, nigga, and like, do your thing. Like, go do you. Like, that's the one thing I don't get why it has to be announced. If you like dick, then go get dick, bro. Like, how the fuck you gotta tell niggas? Like, I hate that shit, bro.
Yo, would you flat out tell them just like that too?
Bro, so I'm assuming like they're at the age where obviously they know what they like. I'm gonna just say the little nigga 16 or something.
Yeah, he's 16.
He's like, Dad, I'm gay. I'm gonna be like, nigga, and like,
or and then he pressed you about it though. He's like, really, like, Dad, like, I am gay though. Like, this is not a joke.
I'm gonna be like, get the fuck away from me. Like, go do your thing, bro. Like, I don't. That's what I'm saying. Like,
nah, but he's gonna be like, Dad, why don't you love me?
I'm gonna be like, why are you flipping it into that? I'm literally accepting you. Go get dick.
She's like that. He's like, that's what we do. That's what our people do. We flip things.
Word, now, like now I never understood that shit, bro. Like that whole coming out of the closet, quote unquote. It's like, my nigga, just live your life, my nigga. I don't know, man. I don't know. But to answer your question, no, I wouldn't care. That's I would. I mean, I would be like, damn, like, how you not like pussy? But it is what it
is. Oh my god, we're so fucking canceled.
It is what. Hey, I don't got no employer. If you hate,
I hear you. I hear you. See, you know what's fucked up is, like, I'm the same way. If I had kids, I'd be like, I don't give a fuck. How you telling me? I said, word. I'm like, yo, don't bring them in my house.
There's no fucking work out.
I'd be like, yo, you see the shotgun? Don't bring them in my house.
Don't leave shit.
Don't bring that nigga over here.
What if it's what if you got a daughter?
I mean, same gig. Like, it wouldn't change. Like, I don't like. Daddy, I'm a lesbian. Okay, can I play Metroid? Like, get away.
Would you have like conversations about how to like for her to get like other girls? Like, you be telling her like the game. You be like, yo, this is how I got your mother. Or this is how I got other girls.
I don't know. That's like honestly a good question. Like, no, I know you're not like trolling right now, but it's just like I would feel weird doing that per se.
Just because it's your kid?
No, not even that. Because like, so let's say if I had a son and he was straight, I would teach him like game on how to get girls.
Yeah,
it's just like I'm not a lesbian, so I don't know the approach. You know what I'm saying?
You give her the game like you would if she was your son. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, because I'm coming from like a male's perspective though, not like I don't know how females relate to another female is what I'm saying.
That's good to keep that into consideration. But where she's like, yo, Dad, like, there's this girl at school, I really like her, and like, you know, I want to munch her box. So like, can you tell me the way?
Yo. First, I would be like, first of all, watch your mouth. Second of all, you gotta do this.
Yo, you're a good parent. I like that.
Second of all, you gotta move your mouth like this.
I like. Yo, I like it. Yo, I love it. Oh, that's great. This motherfucker was like, yo, first and foremost, watch your mouth.
Watch your mouth.
We don't talk about box munching.
We don't call it box munching. We call it pussy eating.
Facts.
Yeah. So, you good, sir. I mean, unless you don't want to.
Oh, no. I mean,
right, how would you approach both? Like, if your son, so because you got both.
Yeah.
So how would you approach if either your son was homosexual or your daughter was homosexual?
It'd be fairly the same though. I just
the approach that Lauren had.
Because it's more so like you got not that I don't want to say not that I don't give a fuck. It's more so, you know, you got to do what you feel is best for you. You know, I obviously try to beforehand raise them more so like, you know,
to be straight.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just
be like, yo, this is wrong. Still, there's that argument though too, which we'll have an episode for that. You know, of, you know, is it like something that you're, I guess, raised into believing that is okay? Or is it something that, like, you know, you can't fight? Because I believe, you know, it's just like, hey, man, it's just like us, where it's like we see a woman and it just feels natural for us to gravitate towards that and be like, all right, cool. Like, that's appealing to me sexually.
Right.
I feel like gay people they got that same mindset where it's like, yo, as a guy, you see another guy, you're like, yo, I want that. That looks good to me. Boom. Same thing for a female who's a lesbian. Boom. I'm a female. I see another female that looks hot to me. Boom. Yeah, but you would treat them the same.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
like it just
embrace
this. Oh yeah, you know, you got to do what you got to do, and you got to feel is right for you, man. I mean, you know, like I said, I will obviously try to, you know, raise them to what I believe is, you got a man and woman and man, you know what I'm saying? But if they was to go do what they had to do, I wouldn't be mad at them. You know what I'm saying? I would embrace them because they still my children. And I always look out for them. I wouldn't even talk, depending on the relationship, I might make a couple jokes, but if it's something that they really take seriously and they don't want to play about it and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna still make some jokes.
You're right. because the thing is, I feel like even if they were talking about like a straight, like if they were dating straight, you know what I mean? Like, I still think you would probably make jokes still.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, don't bring them in my house.
Yeah.
That kind of shit. Because that's what I would.
My head big.
But that's like a father thing, I think, or like a mother thing. Where it's just like, I don't want nobody's good enough for my daughter kind of show. Or nobody's good enough for my son kind of thing.
Absolutely, man. It's people gonna do what they want to do anyway, man. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So what is I'm gonna be mad at you because you made a choice of your life? I'm still fucking your mother. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. It is what it is.
And the thing is, it might not be a choice though. We gotta keep that in mind. It's just how they feel.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
and then that if that's the case, I love I love them to death. It ain't that you do what you got to do, and you got to make sure you live the life the way you want to live it.
I never understood that. I don't get how niggas be disowning their kids because they like
that shit is stupid, man.
It doesn't do anything.
The only time I would, not saying my kids would do this shit, but you can't be on some weird shit like it, little underage kids and shit like that. Yeah. Then it's a problem.
Yeah.
Because
that's the thing. Nobody sets out to like raise fucking weird kids, that are into twisted shit. Like nobody's like, yo, I'm raising a serial killer,
right?
On purpose, unless you're fucking purpose. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, unless you're purposely doing that, but there's no guarantee that you're gonna get that. The kid might be like, all right, you're fucking bugging. This is wrong. I'm out. But
I mean, shit, man. So the thing is, we're having these kids. You're either gonna show them to be like you, or they're gonna not want to be like you so much. They're gonna do the opposite. So